Yeah.
All right, welcome to the Fantasy Sports Wrap, everyone. I was going to say dames and broads and gents and I don't
Oh
know.
gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, it's baseball season winding down, and I got to be honest, I'm wearing the old Cheffy's hat because football kicked off this weekend, and I, baseball lover that I am disgusted with what's happening in the playoffs. I don't want to talk about them, but we probably should. It is
Well,
the
you're what?
playoffs.
You're down 6-4 here. Now I forget when we played this before. Do they reset the categories, or is it just a long 2 week deal?
Long
Okay.
2 week deal.
I thought I remember that. Let's say you go 4-6 the first week, you would have to win like.
Well, that's how it was. Yeah, that's how it was back when we did it a long time ago. But remember when we had that extra extended week?
Yeah, I wasn't sure
Yeah,
though.
I don't know. Well,
Wait,
we don't know, guys. We'll figure it out as we go. But if I lose 6-4, then I'd have to win 4-6 to tie it. But we did find out, best of our knowledge, that if there is a tie, if I go 5-5 with Docs and Jocks, they advance because they don't go to like
the
who had the
higher
most
seed.
runs or who had the most RBIs or whatever. Just higher seed advances, right?
Right. Yep. Yep.
So here's why I'm disgusted with it. Okay, I got off to a big start, but
You did.
here's why I'm disgusted with it. Okay, it's because of this. When they've got all these home runs and RBIs, when a guy who's got 10 home runs on the year hits 3 in one day, granted a doubleheader, and 7 RBI when he's only got under 50 on the entire year, that's luck, Docs and Jocks. That's luck that Brett Gardner has 7 RBI in a day, and then Curtis Granderson has 3 again today. It's those guys. If it was Nelson Cruz and Edwin Encarnacion and Manny Machado and Prince Fielder, I'd be fine with it because they're good players. Gardner is a below average guy, and he just went off, and he goes off against me all the time, and that's what bothers me about it. So
Did you
that's
see?
my rant.
Did you happen to see how many home runs he's hit against you this year?
Oh, he's a
Did you
ton
go
of them.
back?
No, I didn't.
He's only hit what? He's hit what? 13 now?
He's got 16. I'm sorry, he had 13 coming. He's got 16. He's got to have at least 7 against me, half are against me, but
Yeah.
that's the way it works. I will say,
You got good production. Your average was really low.
yeah, my guys don't hit for average, unfortunately. So I think I could I mean, home runs, I could hang on and win that one. I could win steals because neither of us are prolific steal teams. So that's 2 in the offensive category. I've got a good edge in strikeouts. I'm up in wins. I think I can catch them in saves. That would be 5, and then I just need to tie somewhere. And I'm close in whip. The problem is my pitching staff is not as good as theirs.
Yeah.
I made some nice pickups at times, but the San Diego guys killed me. I had horrible outings from Cashner and Kennedy back to back. But so anyway, I'm hoping for a 5-4-1. If I can beat them 5-4-1 or a 4-3-2 or something like that. But I don't know. It's getting away from me. The other thing is Docs and Jocks. Another reason you're lucky. For whatever reason, my guys hit solo home runs. I got 17 home runs and only 37 RBI.
That's low.
I mean, I literally should have 50 RBI because I think of my 17 home runs, I looked it up earlier and I haven't had any today. I believe 13 of my 17 are solo shots.
Well, look at Docs and Jocks. He's got 11 homers and 49 RBIs. You know.
Well, yeah, I mean, there were guys on every time Gardner had a
Yeah.
home run yesterday. He had 2 home runs and 3 home runs and 7 RBI. So he averaged
Yeah.
2.3 guys on per. So anyway, I don't think it's meant to be. In the other one though, it looks like Docs and Jocks and Tower are cruising for a matchup in the championship, and they've been the 2 best teams throughout the year. So kudos to you, mother. Oh, sorry. I'm bitter. Sorry.
Hey, well, I'm beating Pat this week. That's exciting.
Yeah, if you look in the consolation ladder, they don't even call it a bracket. I like the consolation ladder. Slammers and
Yeah.
Mounties knotted at 5. Look at Moonva. You've gotten pretty good offense the last like 6 weeks. Your pitching has just been falling apart. But I looked down today and saw the number of wins you had, and I almost fell out of my chair.
Yeah, it's big for me. 4 wins.
You probably haven't had 4 wins in the last 3 weeks combined. Like there were weeks where you would get 50, 60 strikeouts and have 1 win or no wins.
Yeah. Well, I threw 5 guys today and I got 1 win.
Do you have any transactions left?
3.
Well, that's good. The other thing, Docs and Jocks, that you got a little lucky with, but then it came back to bite you. Gardner and Cruz both got healthy for this matchup and played well, but we're both battling injuries now. But Tulowitzki, on a play where he's going into the outfield and his outfielder runs into him, cracks part of his scapula, so he's out. Some say 2 to 3 weeks possibly. So I got to burn a transaction on him, and there's nobody good out there to get. But I looked today, and this was a day I could have made things up because they have Encarnacion is out day to day, and Johnny Peralta sat, normal sit day, and then Avisalia Garcia is out today. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll get a break there and catch some injuries for Docs and Jocks. Make a comeback. It's not over, but I'm a little depressed because it looked really good all the way up until Thursday, and then Brett Gardner did me in.
Went off. Yeah.
And he's not that good a player. He's 91% owned, so everybody owns him.
Well, he plays good. He plays good against you, man. It's just amazing how that happens.
He does. You
go up against some of these teams in our league, and they'll have one player. For you, it was Adrian Gonzalez against me.
He only plays against you, though. I wish you were in the playoffs because he does nothing against anybody else. I bet he's hit 60% of his homers against you.
Oh yeah.
By the way, he got a solo homer yesterday.
Solo shot, huh?
Yeah, solo shot.
Yeah.
I think I had 3 homers yesterday, and they were all 3 solo shots.
Wow.
No, maybe A-Rod might have had a guy on. He might have had a guy on.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's still possible. Although I just saw this, Carlos Gomez is day to day now for me too.
What happened to him?
Medical examination will miss at least Monday's game. He's been dealing with a left intercostal strain, which forced him to miss Sunday's game. What a bunch of wusses. Dude, they're in the playoffs by 1 game. Like, you have to play.
Yeah.
I don't get this. I do not get this at all.
It's not like it used to be.
It's a strain.
Yeah.
Stick a needle in it and get out there, man. I don't know. But, is that enough baseball talk?
I think so. We don't need to give them any more due than we need to. And you might come back and win.
Well, if I come back and win, we're going to talk 40. We're going to do a 40-minute baseball show if I come back and win.
Yeah, and we'll interview both of them.
Let me just say this. Baseball did not start off great for you, and it was a struggle all year. Football's looking pretty good for the Moon Valley Racers.
Good start. Yeah, good start for me. Playing Slammers. One of my big-time rivals over the years.
We started everything interdivision. So these games are really important right out of the gate. And for you to put up what you did, mainly thanks to the Chiffies. How many did you get from everybody on the Chiefs? I'm going to look real fast here at the league scoreboard. You're up right now 118 to 71. As we're talking, there's 3 games left. Dallas is playing right now. Then you got 2 games tomorrow, right?
Yeah, Philly at Atlanta and Minnesota at San Francisco.
So you still have Bradford and Ryan Matthews to go, and he's still got Carlos Hyde and Matt Ryan to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got 2. You each have a quarterback and a running back.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. All right, hold on. Hey, come here.
So that should.
He's standing at the door here. He wants to come out.
That should go your way.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Sorry about that.
Hey, life happens.
That's right.
But you got today. You got 20 from Jamal Charles, your first overall pick. You got 28 from Travis Kelce. I'm going to christen this the year of the tight end. And you got 14 from Cobb, your second pick. And then who is this guy? Jarvis Landry.
He was a rookie last year with Miami. I don't remember what round I took him in. It was kind of late. He ran a kickback for a touchdown.
Oh, you get credit for that?
You get credit, yeah, you do.
So
I wasn't sure if you did.
You get credit for the team too, or just the individual?
Team. So I double dipped on that one because I got the Dolphins' defense and special teams.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna win. I mean, you both have a quarterback and a running back to go, and even if you score nothing, he's got to put 40 points on the board. Matt Ryan could throw 30 on the board. He could, but I doubt it. But
his projected points are 105, and mine are.
Yeah, you've already got a
118
1
right now. So
yeah.
I feel pretty good.
I look at that. I look at that and I say, you're done. That's going to be a win. Mounties, that's going to be a win over Anses because his guys went off. He had the New England guys. I think those are done. Uh, Volcanoes or Vulcan Volcanoes is way up, 133 points.
Well,
22 from.
Docs and Jocks is focusing on baseball, so that's what they'll say, I'm sure.
Well, they took Peyton Manning too, and you texted me and said Peyton Manning didn't look good. He scored 5 points today.
Yeah, he looked very old and slow. I mean, when he wound up to throw his passes, it was just like he threw a pick six that was just like, dude, what out in the flat, and it was just like it was ridiculous. I'm just like, man, I don't know, man. They still
Well,
pulled it out. They pulled out the win, but they're not gonna win because of him this year. I don't think.
well, I'm going to advise against it, but I'm going to say it and just let it happen. Ansys has been trying to move Matt Stafford. He's got Stafford and Roethlisberger. He'll trade you one of them to somebody. He wanted Devontae Adams for me, and I probably should have, looking back, done that just because Adams didn't do a lot this week for Green Bay, which was kind of surprising, even though Green Bay put some points on the board. Adams, he caught, 4 balls for 59 yards. So, I mean, he got targeted. He had caught a touchdown. He would have been at 15. But I'm 104.76 over Pride. Now, who do you think, Darren? He's got DeMarco Murray going tomorrow night, and I have no idea what that guy's going to do in that offense. But it could be he could score a lot of points. He's got Bailey kicking tonight. Kicker.
Eagles.
He's got the Eagles D.
And you've got Julio Jones. I like your chances. I think you'll hold on.
I got 20. Everybody was telling me I needed to make a trade for a quarterback, and I said, I'm going to stick with Alex Smith. 22 for 33, 243 yards, and 3 touchdowns, baby, as the Chiefs rolled on the road against this vaunted Houston defense with J.J. Watt. Houston is in such disarray, they benched their starter, Brian Hoyer, and Mallett came in and played better. So they got a quarterback controversy in week 1 down there.
Wow.
So maybe pick up Mallett. If he's not picked up in your league, I think he's going to be the starter.
Blake Bortles outscored Peyton Manning this week. He had 11 points.
Yeah, I picked him up as my backup.
He was your backup, yeah.
Who did anybody pick up Mariota? That guy went nuts today.
I dropped him. I drafted him and dropped him.
Is he out there?
Oh yeah.
Now, you rightly texted back, oh, I should have kept him. And I said, yeah. And then at the same time, you were texting, well, it's only one game. I was texting, he played a really bad team. So he's not going to do it. But how impressive is that to be, I mean, it's still an NFL team. Your first game, I think you had a perfect quarterback rating. Like, that's unbelievable.
He looked really sharp. I mean, just from the highlights that I saw, I was watching the red zone too, and he looked like a seasoned veteran out there. Now, Winston, on the other side of the ball, he looked really little. You know, it's amazing when you go from the college game to the NFL game.
Yeah.
You know, and Mariota he looks big. He's a bigger guy, I think, isn't he? Mariota than Winston? I think he is.
Yeah, but Winston always seemed bigger, like muscular-wise, but I think Mariota's taller.
He doesn't look that way in the NFL. He looks like I don't know what to liken him to, but he just is. He doesn't have that presence. I mean, like, that's Winston. I thought he was bigger than that.
Well, so, it is one game. You never know. But I mean, for old school guys like me, you never root against anybody particularly. You do sometimes. I'm just saying never. I don't want Mariota to win because, or Winston to fail because I don't like him. But it is nice to see a guy who's very soft-spoken. It's all about the team, all about family. He doesn't beat his chest like, look how great I am. And he's great. Right. I mean, a great college career. It is great to see a guy like that succeed. And it's kind of fun to see a guy who pounds his chest all the time, stub his toe. It is kind of fun. I got to
Well, Mariota, they showed him after his touchdown passes today. And for the ones that I saw, there was no jumping up and down, doing a Johnny Manziel like he did today when he threw his first touchdown pass. He's just – and you're going to earn the respect of your teammates when you act the way that Mariota did today, even though he had a huge, huge game. And he's got some nice receivers too.
Is that Ken Wisenhunt down there?
Yeah. Thing about Wisenhunt, they did say about him that he's very good on opening days. His week 1 record is pretty good.
Yeah, but look, it's funny to me that Ken Wisenhunt. I mean, I remember they had posters that said "In Wiz We Trust" instead of "In God We Trust" after those 2 years of Super Bowl, and then they ran him out of town on a rail as quick as they could in next year. This is a guy who he transformed Ben Roethlisberger into a stud quarterback in the NFL in Pittsburgh. Then he came and got the Cardinals to a championship game that they had won had it not been for Ben Roethlisberger making a crazy passing catch to Holmes. Yep. And then the following year, they should have gone again, but people don't remember. They got knocked out by the Saints, and that very offseason, Bounty came out. They were cheating. They were pounding guys. They were hurting guys. We talked about it after that game. Kurt Warner got pounded, and the very next week, Favre got pounded. We're like, how are they not throwing flags on these guys? So Wisenhunt's not the guy can coach. I mean, it's easy to hammer the guy because they fell apart, but he's probably thinking, holy crap, this is the first quarterback I've had since I had Kurt Warner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, they saddled him with a bunch of... You know when Kurt Warner quit, the GMs gave him Derek Anderson? Like, how are you supposed to coach with that? I mean, I'm not defending the guy like crazy, but come on.
They never had anybody good. I mean, their personnel was horrible.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Which is why, to me, that shows why Kurt Warner is a first ballot Hall of Famer and why Larry Fitzgerald's a Hall of Famer. For Fitzgerald to put up the numbers he put up those years with that bunch of bums, and I say bums, but anybody who plays in the NFL is way better than I'll ever be. So I mean it, in comparison to Aaron Rodgers, okay?
Yeah.
Not in comparison to everyone else in the world. But for Fitzgerald to put up the numbers he put up with those guys, that guy's a Hall of Famer, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Phoenix Tower. Wow, Phoenix Tower. If you want a quarterback, Phoenix Tower got 31 from Palmer. He got 29 from Rivers on his bench. Dude, look how many points he left on the bench. Tower. He left like 70 points on the bench.
Holy cow.
How does this guy do this? He trips ass backwards into success every time.
Look at his quarterbacks. Remember we were talking about he drafted. Why does he have 2 quarterbacks?
His worst one is the guy who took...
He got 3 quarterbacks.
And his worst quarterback is the guy he picked first. That's why we know he's not doing it on his own. The first pick was his own, and he blew it. And then he called somebody, and they said, well, get Palmer and get Rivers. And they're better than Russell Wilson.
Yeah, fantasy-wise, yeah.
I never understood why Russell Wilson was a top fantasy pick. I never got it. He doesn't put up gaudy fantasy numbers. Maybe because he runs, but I don't get it.
Yeah, wow, he did towards the end of last year, and I think that's what people remember in the playoffs. He was running all over the place and really putting up some nice numbers. But for the course of the season, you want to have a guy like Palmer.
Well, look.
Now, it's interesting because I don't know what's going to go on with Ellington. See, he got hurt again.
Yeah, I saw that, and I guess
he wasn't even touched. He planted, and his leg gave out, and he collapsed. I really feel bad for the guy because he can be such a force offensively for them. And but Chris Johnson looked halfway decent.
Who's got Ellington? Is that Pat?
I don't know.
Let's look here.
Yeah, he's got him.
Did he start him?
Oh yeah. He started him, but he's gonna win anyway.
Oh, I was looking at Docs and Jocks, a miserable team they're throwing out there. Yeah, Ellington. Wow, he had 11 points for him too. Well, and Pat doesn't have who else he got backing him. He didn't really have anybody backing him up either. He'd throw Johnson in. No, that's a different Johnson. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, if you had to call it, you would probably say Loopers is going to get a win. That's the most tenuous. Vulcan Volcanoes, Racers, Tower probably. Although Wing and Fling's got some guys playing. Mounties, and then did you see the youngsters, Friedman and Purple People Eaters? They've got a 98-66 lead for young Jesse Friedman over young Adam Johnson. Adam's got Peterson going tomorrow night though.
And Friedman's got this Philadelphia receiver. Is that guy a rookie? Aguilar?
Yeah, I don't know who he is. And he's got his kicker. Your dogs are unhappy about something.
Yeah, they're not happy. I apologize.
That's okay. He's got the Vikings D. Well, he went with Drew Brees over Andy Dalton, did Purple People Eaters, and Dalton would have been the better play, but you can't really fault him for that one.
Look at Deshaun Jackson, 0 yards,
I saw that. That's amazing. They're a
no
train wreck
points.
up there. Washington, I would stay away from anybody. They're a train wreck.
Yeah,
Absolute train
Jordan,
wreck.
Jordan Reed possibly. I mean, he had a nice game today, and when you have kind of average quarterback play, I mean, Cousins is a nice player, but he's not, he's not
Yeah.
going to be a superstar. I think he's shown that.
Yeah.
Um, and but you have a guy like Reed, a tight end, a guy like that, he's going to throw to him. So.
Well, look, guys, there were some surprises in real football, and you got to look at these. Baltimore giving it to Denver should have probably won that game, and Peyton Manning did not look good, so got to watch that. San Diego winning at home over Detroit. Our good friend Paul Bushman for Answers was actually out there watching that game. I feel bad. He made the trek and got saddled with the loss.
Dude, they were up 21-3, Detroit.
That's San Diego, though. That Phillip Rivers, man, you either love the guy or you hate him, but he puts up numbers. I mean, he does.
You got to give him that.
I remember watching him at NC State, and I wanted the Chiefs to draft him so bad. I watched the North Carolina State game, and I'm like, God, who is this guy? He's so good. And the Chiefs didn't draft him. He went to San Diego. And, literally San Diego at one point had Phillip Rivers and Drew Brees.
Right.
And they're trying to choose. Unbelievable. Arizona got a win. Buffalo beating Indianapolis. Now, I know it's at home, but, boy, look at Rexy. Sexy Rexy getting a win.
And that was handily. Speaking of Buffalo, I think we need to talk a little bit about Percy Harvin.
Bring it. Yeah.
Percy Harvin, my 2 sleeper picks so far, James Jones, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
Percy Harvin.
Who's he even played for, James Jones? Is that Green Bay?
He's back with the Packers.
That's stinking. He took away touchdowns from Adams, but yeah, he looked good too.
Yeah. So those are 2 guys that, they're not available in our league anymore because I have them. But
well, now you got to figure out when you're going to play him.
James Jones, you might even look at him as being an every week guy. I mean,
I don't know. You got a good week. Where are you going to play him? I guess you put him in for Emmanuel Sanders, but you got some strength. You could trade some guys, Deron. I mean, you got James Jones and Percy Harvin. Unless you just want to wait and play the have great depth for when you have a bye week. I don't know what their bye weeks are, but
right.
I mean, I look at your team, man. You got
it's pretty
from a receiver standpoint.
Yeah, Marcus Wheaton, he'll be viable for the next couple of weeks while they're starting receivers out. What's his name? I forget.
Who?
Pittsburgh's. He's on suspension.
Antonio Brown?
No, the guy opposite him.
Oh, I don't know. Le'Veon Bell. They're all suspended.
No, they're all, yeah. Anyway, I got Wheaton, but look at my team, and I can maybe work some trades, especially if these guys have another good 1 or 2 weeks.
Well, here's the only thing you're lacking is a backup quarterback, which I'm lacking too.
Right.
And I'm not a huge Ryan Matthews fan, but who knows? Maybe he'll do something. So you could turn one of those receivers for an upgrade at that position probably.
Yeah.
Or a backup quarterback, or you just keep him, man. Just hoard those guys. I mean, my gosh.
They come in handy for bye weeks, and
yeah.
if someone gets hurt, if Cobb goes down, I'm gonna need someone, especially
That's a good point.
Jones.
That's a good point. Yeah. I'd hang on to Jones for sure because if Cobb does go down,
Right. So anyway, those are a couple of players that I had a feeling about them. Wasn't too sure about Harvin, but I had a pretty good idea that Jones would be having a good week, and I just didn't have room for him this week. I'm like, I got to play Sanders, and I like Landry. I wanted to play him because he's starting. And of course, Cobb, he ended up getting a touchdown, even though they said he wasn't playing 100. He wasn't 100%. So,
I just saw. Did you see what Danny Woodhead did on my bench? 42 yards, 2 touchdowns, 22 points.
That's nice.
I'm like, oh man. The only problem for me is I hate having to be like, oh, I wonder who I should play. But Frank Gore did nothing at Buffalo. Holy cow. Indy was a disappointment at Buffalo. I don't know if that's because Buffalo's such a much better defense or, people are picking them to win the Super Bowl. I'm like, holy cow, they looked horrible.
Yeah, and they were never in that game. I mean, they were getting killed. I think it was 24-0 or something like that. I was just like, gee.
Well, I'm happy. My Chiffies went out and put a 27 spot on the board in the first half and then cruised, got it 27-20. I've been telling people, everybody loves Kelsey, everybody loves Charles, everybody loves Macklin. Well, somebody's got to throw him the ball. So that's why I'm going to hang on to Alex Smith, and he was great today, 22 of 33.
Oh, man.
And
No picks, no fumbles.
what did Graham do up in Seattle? Did he do anything? He got a touchdown.
Touchdown, but not.
Who's got him?
Tremendous amount of targets.
Who's got him in our league? Is that Pat? Yeah, he's 17 points, 51 yards, and a TD. The problem with tight ends is Rob Gronkowski is the measuring stick, Kelsey's close. I mean, Kelsey looked pretty unstoppable there in that first half. I mean, he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Those guys look like they might be the top two guys, but anyway.
I'm happy with my chiffies, for sure.
Key Melty and Niall Davis came in and played pretty well too. And one thing they said on the broadcast, I was listening to the broadcast, that'll be good for you is what that'll do is they won't have to use Charles as much in that middle of the field space and stuff, and they can save his legs for those goal line and those other plays. So last year, he was involved in probably 70% of their offensive plays. This year, he might only be involved in 50, but he'll actually get better chances.
Right.
To do more playing less, which sounds odd, but that's what they were saying. I'm a Chiefs fan. I bought it, so it worked good,
He'll be fresher. It makes sense,
Yeah.
and he'll have a less chance of getting dinged up like he usually does. So, after the draft, I have to say I was looking at my team going, oh gosh, but now I'm happy. That was
you didn't like him. You didn't
No.
like him. Well, we thought Tillman Pride had the best team, and it looks like I might be able to hang on for a victory over those guys unless they go off on me. I'm going to make a prediction right now, though. This is just the way it's going to go. Tom Brown's going to win the league. He's just going to win the league. And I don't know if it's God doesn't like me as much as he likes him or what, but the guy and we know he's getting help. We know he's getting help because he picked up that tight end for Green Bay. And everybody's like, who the heck is that? He's like, oh, he's a sleeper. Like, he would know a sleeper from, seriously. And that guy got a touchdown, I mean, he didn't do a ton, but.
No, he didn't really do much. And, I was actually watching one of the fantasy shows this morning, and they were saying before you get all excited about Richard Rodgers, historically, tight ends have just not put up huge numbers with Rodgers. I mean, you had Jermichael Finley maybe a year or two that did some good stuff, but all the tight ends they usually throw, he just doesn't throw them. Rodgers had 27 yards receiving this week, which, but he's just not going to get the play that you might think he would in that kind of an offense. So we'll see how that plays out.
Well, and this is where Tom and his advisors made a mistake. They had Richard Rodgers in their flex spot, and they could have easily had Keenan Allen in there, caught 15 balls for 166 yards. He didn't catch a touchdown, but in a PPR league, Tom, that means points per reception. 31 points. Yeah, man, if he becomes Phillip Rivers' favorite target, I mean, he's not going to catch 15 every week, but you catch 15 in 1 week, you're probably going to catch 7 or 8 every week.
Yeah.
I mean, 7 or 8 catches is good for 80, 90 yards. That's 18 points right there. Catch a touchdown, you're in the mid-20s.
Playing 2 tight ends in your lineup is kind of, unless you got a couple studs, nah. I could see playing Heath Miller because he's been a favorite target of Roethlisberger's. Playing him as your tight end. Richard Rodgers was maybe a little bit of a stretch, but, they're playing the Bears in a good offense, so you can make a case for it. But a guy like Keenan Allen, I think you'd want to have him in there, even though he was in an off year last year.
Well, let me just say, even with that mistake, that's a guy that's going to win the league. He's going to win baseball, and he's going to win football. And you know what? He's not going to be invited back the following year. Tom, you're one and done, pal. We're not letting this happen again. All right, man. Well, hey, it's exciting first week. I wasn't sure about football. I was kind of, I'm a baseball guy, and I was like, I'm not really that excited about football. But I got to tell you, man, it was kind of fun. I was up at Prescott with my daughter to camp, and I was trying to log on and look at stuff and follow the games and listen on the radio. It was fun, man.
Were you able to stay up with the games? It seemed like you were. You were texting me updates. I was in church, and I just saw my phone was just buzzing off the chair next to me. And I was
texting you about Travis Kelce like crazy.
Yeah, and I just checked to see where the texts were from. I'm like, man, I hope this is not an emergency for one of our horses or something like that. Someone trying to get a hold of me. So I looked down, I'm like, oh, it's Potter. He's giving me a running. So after I got out of church, I checked it. I got caught up on all your updates. I'm just like going, oh yeah. In fact, I think I got the Kelsey second touchdown as I was walking into church because it just buzzed in. I looked down, Kelsey TD number 2, and I'm just like going, oh yeah.
Well, then he threw a swing pass to Charles, and Charles got a block from Kelsey. The only scary thing was Kelsey got hit in the right in the kind of solar plexus upper. And I know I'm doing my stomach. The docs and jocks like I was going, dude, your solar plexus is nowhere near where you're touching. He got hit in his solar plexus, and he was out. And at one point, they said that the doctor was holding onto his helmet because that's what they do. The doc will take the guy's helmet and say, "You're not going back in," you know.
Right.
Hawk has a great story about when Jason Witten was screaming at him, and like the doctor and the trainer are like hiding his helmet so he can't go back in because the guy's just like, "F you, I'm going in," you know. But Andy Reid was over there talking, like, "Oh, this doesn't look good." But evidently, Andy Reid and Travis Kelce convinced him because he gave his helmet back and he came back in the game. That's the only thing that scares you know.
He got over 100 yards, and 2 TDs.
Good for Kansas City. I was hoping that, in real football, I was hoping Denver would lose because I hate the Broncos. But anyway. All right, Deron. Well, this show is only going to be 15 minutes. It's more like 30 minutes because we can't not talk. So I have no idea when I'll get this thing up. But
okay.
We'll probably, I think, you're in town this week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in town. We'll probably try to do a podcast later in the week when we kind of really know, hey, this is what has to happen for baseball, maybe around Wednesday or Thursday. Hopefully I'll still have a prayer against Docs and Jocks. And I'd love to see, well, no, I wouldn't. I was going to say I'd love to see somebody take Tom, but I've made it very clear. I want it to be Tom against me in the playoffs. I do not want a chance for the East to win this whole thing. After the way they played, it would drive me crazy if Pride came back and won the whole daggum thing. So I
don't think they're going to.
As much as I hate it, Tom, I'm rooting for you this week to win this thing. So, all right, Deron, any famous last words? Anything?
No, looking good. I've got 3 teams as a matter of fact, and it looks like 2 of them are looking pretty good. One, I'm down 19 points, not this league, of course, and I've got Jordan Matthews on Philly tomorrow night, and the Atlanta kicker Bryant, down 19 points.
Does he have anybody left?
No.
I don't know. I don't know what Matthews is going to do. I'm not a huge Matthews guy, but who knows if he could. What?
Yeah.
Does he catch a lot?
Yeah,
is it a PPR league?
This is not a PPR league.
Oh yeah.
No, so he needs to score touchdowns.
Yeah, you can't just go for like 100 yards rushing or whatever. And is he gonna run that much?
No, he's a receiver.
I mean, you're not talking about Ryan Matthews, Jordan Matthews.
No, Jordan Matthews. Yeah.
For who's he play for?
Philly.
I'm interested to see what they do. I think they're the wild card. I think Bradford is going to have a great year. I don't know about all these other guys because I think they might spread it around, I think they might really spread it around. And I think one day it might be DeMarco Murray scoring 30 fantasy points. The next day it might be Matthews. The next day it might be somebody else,
It could be that way. But, I also think there's going to be pretty good opportunity for all those guys. So, I've got Ryan Matthews in our league. I got Jordan Matthews in this other league. And I got DeMarco Murray on my third team. So I'm loaded.
Dude, somebody said, who wants the Phillies? And Deron went, I'm all in. I'm all in with Philadelphia. I'm pushing my stack in with these guys. All right, Deron. Well, you're going out to GSU soccer, right? You probably got to hit the road.
Oh, yeah, heading out here. Wow, it's already 6:30. Yeah, I should be.
Yeah, I know. We talk forever. So anyway, all right. Have fun at the soccer match. It's not a game. It's a match. And we'll talk to you later this week. Good luck, everybody, except for Docs and Jocks. Good luck. All right, see you.